Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Goalside. Personality sells, and you know it. It's not just a football thing or even related to sports exclusively. It's about marketing and public relations and a whole lot of other things that would take a lot of explaining for a football video to cover. When we look up to celebrities, we're usually most fond of those who have a singular trait, a unique personality that just separates them from the rest and makes them different in a way that makes us admire them. To be honest, some people are just born for fame and it shows. And in the case of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he would probably claim that fame was born for him. Who hasn't heard of Zlatan anyway? A true character in football, his name has resonated beyond the pitches and dressing rooms of football, reaching far and beyond to newspapers and magazines, his face known by both the young and the old. And his half-humorous, half-intimidating arrogance has pushed the fame into a level of infamy that is associated with him wherever he goes. Ibrahimovic is a curious man in many ways. Perhaps the most interesting thing about him is that, despite being very mouthy and spending a lot of his time on promotional videos and commercials, he is also a world-class player who has won countless trophies and achieved immense individual awards, even enough to be able to challenge history's footballing greats. But what is it that makes Zlatan tick? And what are his philosophies on life? In this video, we're going to analyze the psychology behind the lethal Swede and find out exactly what goes on in his head. At the age of 38, yes, 38, it shouldn't be possible for Zlatan to be doing what he does week in, week out, scoring magnificent goals in the Major League Soccer League of the US, racking up stats that many players in their peak still can't achieve, and showing the world that age is just a number. But it's no surprise, is it? This man, born to Malmo, Sweden, to a Bosniak father and a Croat mother, both immigrants, introduced him to the beautiful game in a simple but magnificent manner by gifting him a pair of football boots and permission to go outside and play with his friends on the street. Ibrahimovic instantly fell in love with everything surrounding the sport, admiring Gabriel Batistuta and Ronaldo Nazario, both players who he dreamed of emulating as he grew up. He was given chances to train and play at Malmo BI, which is now known as FC Rosengard, FBK Balkan, and BK Flag, and showed a wonderful level of progression with each passing year. Before long, Malmo FF itself, the most successful football club in Sweden, invited him to play with their youth team, and Zlatan was already taking his first true steps into the game. Even so, he lived at a critical level of poverty, the rough neighborhood of Rosengard creating bad habits in the young sportsman. There were many immigrants in Rosengard, and both crime and drugs were commonplace. Furthermore, Zlatan's father had divorced at an early age, and this had its consequences on the boy. Zlatan remembers being a school bully and a thief at many points in his childhood, and it's not something he's proud of. In fact, football was all that kept him grounded as he grew up. As a teenager, he was close to quitting the sport in exchange for a paying job at the city docks that would feed him, but his manager at Malmo talked him out of the decision. He was just too good to quit the sport. All of this sacrifice and effort reaped its benefits soon enough, fortunately. Ibrahimovic, growing towards his immense 6'5" frame and very acrobatic, performed incredibly at Malmo's youth level, and senior team manager Roland Andersson invited him to become part of the first team when he was just 18 years old. Fascinating football followed, with Zlatan scoring a goal within his 6 appearances in the 1999 season, when Malmo unfortunately were relegated, but then also managing an incredible 14 goals in his 29 games during the 2000 season, leading Malmo to return to the first tier of Swedish football. It was an amazing way for him to announce his breakthrough, and football managers and scouts all across Europe began to pay attention to what he was doing. It seemed as if he could do anything. Goals with his right foot, goals with his left, scoring after dribbling past the opponent's backline, scoring with his head. He could even score taekwondo goals, so to speak, an ability he had gained thanks to his extensive learning as a taekwondo athlete during his childhood. Arsene Wenger tells a tale that is humorous at his expense. He attempted to sign Zlatan at around this time of his career, 1999 to 2001, but Zlatan felt insulted when the Frenchman asked him to have a trial at the club's ground. Zlatan doesn't do trials, he replied to the Premier League manager, and that was the end of it. With other clubs also circling around to sign this young star, it was finally Ajax that plucked Zlatan out from Malmo and took him to a club where many legends had built their legacies. Costing €8.7 million in 2001, Zlatan was a very big transfer deal for the club, but the board and coaches knew he would pay back every penny. They weren't wrong. After a difficult time during the first months due to his manager not playing him, former footballer Adrians was soon sacked and replaced by Ronald Koeman. And this is where Zlatan's magic began. With 33 appearances in total, Zlatan went on to score 9 goals over the course of the season, quickly adapting to Dutch football and even lifting the 2001-2 Eredivisie, the first trophy of his career. He would go on to play at Ajax for 3 years and 74 matches in total, winning 2 league titles, a KNVB Cup, and a Johan Cruyff Shield, as well as scoring an impressive 35 goals, which includes the famous goal for which he would be remembered by, an iconic masterpiece of a goal in which he received the ball in the final third, dribbled past 2, 3, 4, and 5 players, tricked the goalkeeper, and shot it into the corner of the goal, leading the commentator to cry out, "Maradona, Zidane!" In amazement, it was this goal that pushed him to stardom, but he was far from done with that. His next club was Juventus, in which he didn't have such a good time, but won 2 Scudettis and was named Serie A's Foreign Player of the Year. Even so, Juventus were found guilty of corrupting the results in refereeing and Serie A football, so they lost both titles they had won. Mino Raiola, Zlatan's infamous agent, and that of Paul Pogba, among others, forced Zlatan out of Juventus, who are now playing in Serie B, the second division, stating that it wasn't what his client had signed up for. Zlatan would then play at Inter Milan, completing a big €24.8 million transfer on August 10th of 2006. According to Ibra, he had supported Inter Milan as a boy and was finally at his dream club. It would be here where he made a name for himself as a world-class striker. He went on to score 66 goals in 117 matches, winning 3 Serie A titles, one of them with a record 97 points, 2 Supercoppas, picked up a Goal of the Year award, Serie A Footballer of the Year, and Serie A Foreign Footballer of the Year award twice, and was the league's top scorer in the 2008-09 season with 25 goals. Even so, he was still on the up. Now it wasn't even just the big clubs that wanted him, it was the Giants. And a giant manager was looking closely at the Swede. In an enormous €69 million deal, which included Samuel Eto's, Pep Guardiola's, FC Barcelona signed Zlatan on August 27, 2009, receiving a presentation before a crowd of 60,000 people at Camp Nou. He was the second biggest signing of all time after Cristiano Ronaldo was sold by Manchester United to Real Madrid earlier that summer. Zlatan had a brilliant start to his Barcelona career, becoming the only FC Barcelona player to score in their first 5 matches in all competitions ever, before scoring another goal in the league that would put him first in the goal scorer list and push his team to the top of the table. Unfortunately, things soured after that, and Zlatan faced the first bad moments of his career. Injuries, a fight with Pep Guardiola after the side were knocked out of the UEFA Champions League by Marino's treble-winning Jose Mourinho, and trouble with Lionel Messi as the Argentine asked to be played in Ibra's position, despite winning the La Liga title. 2 Supercopas, a UEFA Super Cup, and a Club World Cup. Soon the Swede was looking for a new club. He was sent on loan to AC Milan with an option to buy, which the Italian club did at the end of the season, and had a successful season there. 22 goals and 46 apps, and both the Serie A and Supercoppa meant that Zlatan had won the league everywhere he had gone. He would also earn the Serie A top scorer award again. PSG came next for Zlatan as he decided he'd had enough of playing for the Giants of Italy, and here he spent the most time. Why wouldn't he? After all, it was at Paris Saint-Germain where he won the most titles and awards. It was also at PSG where he would find the best form with Sweden, scoring a record 11, 9, and 11 goals in 2012, 13, and 15, respectively, while becoming Sweden's top goal scorer by miles. Zlatan's 62 goals eclipsed Sven Rydell's 49, though Rydell's goal per game average of 1.14 is far beyond that of Zlatan's 0.53. At PSG, Zlatan won 4 Ligue 1 titles, 2 Coupe de France, 3 Coupe de la Ligue, and 3 Trophée des Champions. Was the top scorer in the league 3 times, Player of the Year 3 times, and Best Foreign Player 3 times as well. He's actually considered the best PSG player ever, if you consider his stats, although this is disputable. Zlatan's last big club was Manchester United, and this was a special time. You see, Zlatan actually chose Manchester United, unlike previously when money called him. First, he went there as a free agent and wasn't paid impressively. It was just a desire of playing with Mourinho once more, and of having one last shot at a new league, the Premier League. He was their catalyst that season, scoring an impressive 28 goals in 46 games and single-handedly winning them the Community Shield and EFL Cup. He also was crucial in their UEFA Europa League victory, although unfortunately having to leave the club due to a catastrophic injury that kept him out for months. Now, as he plays in LA Galaxy and is considered the joint best player in the league alongside Carlos Vela, we understand Zlatan Ibrahimovic a bit more than before. Where he was previously the bad boy who was too arrogant for his own good, we've seen that there is good in him. He loves his family, loves the sport, and has many friends. United and LA Galaxy have had their dressing room grow in terms of closeness when he's been around, and Mourinho, a typically merciless man, has only great things to say about him. He even has tattoos on his body dedicated to people he doesn't even know, people who died of unfortunate causes. Representing one of the players with the most accolades, individual, club, and nation-wise, Zlatan has earned the right to be arrogant, to look down on many other players, and to talk about his successes. He's done it everywhere, and the way haters say he hasn't won a UEFA Champions League is just pathetic. Not even Cristiano Ronaldo, who is known to be fearless when it comes to challenges, has accomplished everything that Zlatan has with the clubs he's played in terms of silverware. And Lionel Messi has yet to prove himself outside of FC Barcelona. Zlatan Ibrahimovic deserves a spot among the top 5